fucked up! What I didn't expect was Azera shooting a blue and black chain at me. A large— oh shit, what the fuck? I was watching, what the hell, man? A large blade jutting out at the end, intent on running me through. Before I could scream, however, I was pushed back and fell into the ground, the air in my lungs rushing out and leaving me breathless. Ugh! As I managed to look up, I saw Diana standing in front of me, wings splayed out wide behind her, twitching in furious rage. The chain in question had been knocked away and vanished into the air.
I won't let you touch her!
God, if it wasn't for Diana, I'd be fucking dead.
Has
Multiple
the human
times.
world tainted you too? You're defending the human! You claim that I am the one who is mad!
Stop it!
Matthew's not happy either.
Quiet!
Okay. With a violent wave of her arm, Ezra's cast some sort of blue or black mist over Matthew's mouth. As it took physical shape, a large blue steel mask in the shape of a bird's beak formed over Matthew's nose and mouth, completely covering his lower half of his face.
This is for you, Shikaru. Let me finally give you the world you deserve.
Wow, I'm not sure how I feel about this whole situation. Like, I feel like she's got the best interest for him in heart, but she's like fucking crazy, I don't know. Ezra looked back to Diana, rage fueling her glare and the cold golden color over her irises.
I will warn you now, Queen of the Rebellion. You stand against a pure-blooded succubus. Do not think you have any advantage over me. In fact, I am stronger than you can ever hope to be!
This is a lot of talking and not enough fighting going on right now. Another pure-blooded succubus? I knew Diana was, but I thought she was the only one. How could there have been another? Diana's quiet chuckle, however, broke me from my thoughts.
I recognize the strong scent of lilies. At least this fight will be interesting.
Oh. Something in Diana's voice changed, shooting shivers down my spine. I recognized her tone of voice. The cruel Diana was back. However, Diana's hand reached back to me. What was she doing?
Human, give me some of your energy. I don't need much to defeat this woman.
I thought I already pretty much used a lot of it. I mean, sure. I didn't want this to happen, but Diana needed a fighter. Azera had already enthralled me once, and I knew I was no match for her. I took Diana's hand, feeling her quickly drain some energy from my body. The taint around her form began to pulse and glow slightly to the new energy in her body, but Diana's didn't hold on for long. Diana pulled back her hand and began to chant quietly, waving her hand in the air by her head. Why would I refuse, honestly? Like, I don't understand why I would. At the sound of Azera's words, a volley of chains rushed out from behind her body and shot themselves towards Diana. Before they could reach her, however, Diana formed a familiar saber in her hand, parrying all of them and knocking them away from her. Now the fight begins! The real fight. As they fell, the sudden lifeless chains vanished into the ground, making Azera growl.
You're too slow. All of those years under the Demon Lord's body must have taken a toll on you.
Damn, more harsh.
You insolent bitch!
Savage. Diana suddenly shot herself into the air and swooped towards the other succubus, raising her saber and swinging to decapitate. However, all Diana hit was a suddenly vanishing after image. Before my eyes, Azera, God, these fucking names, appeared behind Diana, floating in midair with a large chain ready to slam down on Diana's head. Diana! Diana quickly dodged to the side, knowing what my scream meant. However, the chain slammed itself into Diana's left wing, causing her to dip and fall to the ground. Her body bounced off the marble surface and she landed on her stomach, knocking the wind out of her.
Ah! A succubus relying on wings. A bit old-fashioned. You really are the Lilith's bloodline to still depend on that method.
Diana snarled and looked up at Azera, gripping her injured wing. It looked broken, twitching in pain under Diana's fingers. However, the wing quickly reshaped itself and folded properly, as if it had never been broken in the first place. Diana smirked as Azera stared in shock.
It may be old-fashioned, but I make it work.
Eesh. With that quip, Diana flew at Azera again, her wings flapping as she sailed through the air for an accelerated boost. Ah, that sounded painful. Damn, did you like bitch slap her or something? Okay, damn, alright, fuck! Azera glared before dispelling her chain and flying at Diana in return, meeting her halfway. Both of them began to brawl and swipe at each other in the air, exchanging kicks and punches and either blocking each other's strikes or dodging them. I, however, looked to Matthew. He was still struggling against the chains around him, pulling roughly one way or another to try and find some leeway. His hands were bound to the armrest, leaving him no chance to use his power to summon anything. Yes. I couldn't just lay there. I had to do something. I quickly jumped up and ran towards Matthew, needing to help him. If I can get him out, that means, you know, Diana will have a little bit of help, I would assume. However, a large barrier forced me back onto the floor. Was Azera holding me back? It wasn't fair! Matthew! Diana and Azera finally shot away from each other, Diana landing near me and Azera landing beside Matthew.
Enough fooling around. You'll
Damn.
never
Well,
outmatch me. Just
that was
surrender.
a waste, I guess.
Crowing like a proud bird won't convince me of your strength.
That's right, you do
If
talk a
you claim
lot.
to be stronger than me, then prove it!
Once more, Diana charged at Azera, zipping through the air like a bullet. From the shadows around Diana, lines of blue chains shot forth and reached for Diana's body. Ooh, ugh. That sounded bad. The chains quickly wrapped themselves around Diana's arms and legs and encircled her neck and waist, squeezing her tightly. A choked garble managed to escape Diana's throat as the chains began to pull her limbs in opposite directions. Uh-oh. My mind flashed back to the nightmare I had before I arrived. Diana was chained in the air in the shape of a star, being pulled apart. However, this time it was Azera who was pulling the chains. Azera laughed hysterically as she looked up at Diana's body, seeing the result of her sneak attack.
Such a shame, Princess of Lilith. Do you not like that? I thought you wanted me to prove my strength.
I probably should do something.
What a pitiful sight you are.
She's enjoying this way too
Best
much.
you can do, Princess of Lilith?
With a snap of Azera's fingers, blue bolts of lightning ran down the chains and shot into Diana's form, causing her to release a heavily garbled scream into the air. I really should do something. Diana, no! I had to think of something quick. I needed to save Matthew and Diana, but were they both possible, especially with a barrier in the way? My mind instantly thought of Sero. Sero? He had holy magic, so maybe he had the ability to break the barrier. However, what about Matthew? What if Azera did something else to him while Sero saved Diana? Then I remembered that I could summon Matthew to me using his real name. What if it helped him escape his bonds? Yes! I told you guys that's what you could do if you knew a demon's real name. Do it! There wasn't enough time to decide. I shouted at last, calling out the first name to come to my mind. If I call one or the other, does that mean I lose one of them? Oh, shit. I'm gonna call Matthew. I think that's a good idea. I needed to get Matthew out of there, and I knew exactly how. I called out his name, feeling the energy of the summoning course through my body. However, I watched as the chain around Matthew pulsed in reply, tightening harder around his body. Oh, that was probably a bad idea. What? Why didn't it work? Using a demon's name was supposed to have broken through anything. Azera laughed, causing me to look at her. I fucked up!
Pathetic! Your love for him isn't
God
strong
damn it.
enough.
This couldn't be. I stared at Azera, trying not to break into hysterics. The summoning spell didn't work. Fuck. Fuck! Fuck! Before I could open my mouth to shout for Sahara, Azera raised her hand and smirked at Diana's body.
I've had enough.
Oh no, I fucked up! I didn't even get the chance to blink or close. Fuck! God, I fucked up! I should have called Sarah, whatever the fuck his name is. Damn it! Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Azera swept her hand through the air, causing the chains to release down his arms, legs, and around her neck. With a bubbly garble, Diana cried out as the chains finally— Fuck! I fucking killed Diana! Oh, the fucking sound. Jesus, was that necessary? Great. Just fucking great. Now I feel fucking horrible. The sound of her neck snapping echoed through the room before the chains finally released her, Diana's body dropping to the ground and slamming into the fuck.
As much as I would have loved to rip you apart.
I'm so— you guys don't even know how upset I am at myself right now. I'm so upset at myself. Like, what was I thinking? I should have known I should have known. I thought it would work, and like, you know, then they both— nope, I should have fucking known. Diana remained on the ground, lifeless. Tears began to flood my eyes as I stared at her fallen body before glaring hard at Azera. As we locked eyes, she began to laugh hysterically. Fuck! I'm so upset right now. I cannot believe I fucked that up. Azera then sneered at me, stepping down from the throne, dais to walk slowly towards me. I felt my body freeze at her gaze. She was enthralling me again. I fought back with my willpower, trying to deny her any control over my form, but I remained as still as a statue, only able to breathe. Am I gonna fucking die now?
Waste of space! Do you really think you can just claim my son? He is about to serve a higher purpose and you are in his way! Don't you see that?
Yeah. I gritted my teeth, fighting back harder. I could feel waves of energy rush through me, ordering me to obey her mental commands, but I refused to acknowledge them. I wasn't going to give in to her.
All you are good for is being chained to a bed and
Oh,
fester your
wow.
energy like a good little harem girl. Energy would be able to sustain him for decades.
That's a little fucked up, honestly. I'm not a cow. I stared wide-eyed at her, feeling her energy surge in my body and seeing her smirk grow with each step she took towards me. Her eyes were glistening with sadistic rage.
Maybe that's what we'll do with you.
Oh god.
You can be my son's favorite plaything. He'll always have a source of energy and will become powerful enough to completely rule over this world with an iron fist. While you get to live. Would you like that?
I don't know about that. My mind began to flash back to the nightmare I had of Matthew staring at me with a cold, sadistic gaze and a smile. I had to fight myself from shuddering as I battled against Azero's hold. Matthew will never listen to you.
Won't he? I've been draining him of his willpower this whole time. He
Wow,
won't be
you're a
able to
fucked up
obey
mom.
anymore.
My heart stopped and I could feel Azero's hold take over as my spike of fear lowered my resolve. She was doing what? My eyes darted over to the throne, terror clutching at my heart. He was going to obey her? I looked to Matthew to see the chains disappear from his body as he slowly stood, his head down with his bangs shielding his eyes. I became wide-eyed as he slowly descended the dais and began to walk towards his mother in a zombie-like fashion. Fuck! I fucked up everything! God damn it! Azera looked over her shoulder at her son and chuckled before turning back to me.
Now, be a good boy and chain this. Ah!
That was a really weird yell. My voice caught in my throat as I witnessed a blade ramming through Azera's chest, making her gasp and tremble in shock. Yeah, that yell didn't match that. I don't know if that's just me. From behind her, Matthew lifted his head to reveal his tear-stained eyes. As he held onto the blade that he had impaled his mother on with a shaky grip, Azera turned her head to try and look at him. Matthew!
What?
Oh, dear God, of course, of course.
I'm sorry, but I love her.
Oh, damn it, this is horrible. My heart swelled in both love but despair. This wasn't fair to him, but it was between her or me, and Matthew made his choice. That is so fucked up, man.
Goodbye.
Oh, I didn't want that. I didn't want any of this. Ah, fuck. Without another word, Matthew pulled the blade out from Azera's body and swung it around his head, cutting a large gash into her back and forcing her down to the ground. My body became my own again as I crawled back from her falling body. Azera hit the ground and quickly went limp, lifeless at last. Matthew, however, gripped to his blade and stared at what he had done both in pain and in shame. My heart began to cry for Matthew. He had struck down his own mother, one whom he loved with every part of his being. This undoubtedly impacted him hard, and I could never know what ran through his mind. I only stood and walked over, standing before Matthew as he dropped his blade and averted his gaze to the side. Oh, no. Hug that beautiful potato. Matthew. I slowly raised my arms to offer a hug, and instantly Matthew pulled me to him and pressed my body against his, bearing his face into my shoulder. I could tell he was fighting back tears, but couldn't stop himself from letting some go, pressing his forehead against my neck. All I could do was hold him and hug him with the same amount of force. Don't hold it back, man. You can cry. Just cry. It's over now. It's over. I gently ran my fingers through Matthew's hair, trying to calm him down. Eventually, he let his sadness out, making us both collapse onto the floor on our knees, gripping each other tightly. His fingers dug into my shirt, pressing me even harder against his chest as he wept against my shoulder. I, however, was silent, trying to take everything in. The Demon Lord was dead, and so was Matthew's mother, and so was Diana. The war had essentially been won. The sight of Diana's dead body made a hard realization course through me like a wave. The Queen of the Rebellion had been slain as well, leaving the world with the 4 rebel leaders to care for it. All my fault! What of Saro? Saro. What would he do now that his lady was gone? I was free to go home, but the price seemed too harsh for the gift to be worth receiving. I lowered my head to Matthew's shoulder, weeping softly with him. This war may have been over and the rebellion may have been won, but the lives lost were significant and powerful enough to break hearts. I had to leave this all behind, unable to change anything.
Well, you did it! Congratulations!
That was
You
it?
made it to the end of your story. I have to say, I am very surprised at how it
Like,
turned
there
out.
was no going back, no further. Okay, fuck.
Nevertheless, I'm glad things worked out in the end, whether it was for the better or otherwise.
Okay.
I never imagined that Matthew's own mother would go crazy and turn on him. At least the Demon Lord got what he had coming to him.
Okay.
Anyway, Matthew's completely free now, and you got to return to the human world in the end.
That's nice.
Anyways, you've been through a lot, so why don't we skip to...
To what?
Huh? You want to know what happened
Yes.
after the war? Well, I mean...
Yes.
I guess I could tell you. After the war was finished, the entire rebellion celebrated. Word spread far and wide about the rebellion's success, and soon every kingdom in the abyssal plains had become united with the new authority.
Okay.
You would think demons would be more hostile towards each other, being demons and all, but the threat of the Demon Lord was what brought the entire world together. When Diana's body was found, the entire rebellion wept.
Yeah, that
Even the rebel leaders,
was my
and
fault.
especially Sero.
Fuck.
Despite the war being over and celebrations being the highlight of the night following it, the death of their queen became the dreadful morning news.
I still feel horrible about
She was
that.
given a public cremation, watched by the entire rebellion army, and when her body became ashes, Sero took the remains to a tree
Yeah,
sacred to her family.
yeah.
What did Sero do then?
Oh god.
You see, since Sero is... well... since he's half angel, his angel
Oh, he
blood
tried to
prevents
kill
him from
himself.
letting him take his own life.
Oh,
As it's inscribed
Christ.
on their blood by heaven, that they will live until time or their enemies end them. None of the rebel leaders would agree to take
Oh,
his life,
God.
and every demon in the abyssal plains came to respect him too much to challenge him. So he simply
Ugh.
sits at the foot of
That's-
Diana's family tree,
That's so fucked up, man.
desperate to wither away.
Oh, come
I think
on.
he's still there now.
Oh.
Poor Sero.
Why the fuck did I make that choice?
Anyway, the other rebel leaders, desperate to make sure that her death wouldn't be in vain, brought themselves together and
I'm
swore
really
to bring
upset.
the world to
I
the
can't even
peace
be
they
happy
believed she
right now.
imagined it to have. To the surprise of many, they did a pretty decent job. They slowly started to work at breaking the caste system and organized trade on every inch of the world. All of it in the memory of the fallen succubus.
Okay.
And I believe that is everything that happened after, well, except for your story anyway. Matthew and you went back to the human world and had a peaceful night in your bed before moving on.
Yeah.
And getting married!
Finally got married.
Huh? How do I know? Well, I have my ways.
Do we have children now?
Maybe you should check it out.
Yeah? Oh. Yes, give us something good to help. The wedding day, which was rescheduled without issue, became as perfect as I imagined it to be. The ceremony was perfect, and the reception was filled with food, cake, streamers, and everything a perfect party should have. Our night became filled with both excitement, fun dancing, and a feeling of perfection as the realization of everything hit me. I was at last married to the man of my dreams. I could go on and on about the wedding and the honeymoon, but honestly, after the war, I was more concerned of living my life afterwards. We all know what goes on in the honeymoon, baby. Don't even worry about it. You don't have to give us those details. Our lives exploded with possibilities after we officially became husband and wife. Matthew helped escalate the Anderson Toy Company to new heights with his brothers, and became a head designer for toys. He began to pump out ideas after ideas, becoming a master toy maker like my grandfather was. Oh, that's sweet. As for me, I began to go through my own success in life, dedicating myself to becoming exactly what I wanted to be. After all, my husband was being a master toy designer. If I put the same amount of work in as I did in the demon world, then I was going to be okay. However, there was never a day that went by that I didn't think about what was happening in the abyssal plains. It was a heavy chapter of my life, one that tested the love between me and Matthew. The memories of our final fight with the Demon Lord and Azera still haunted me slightly, but it only showed how passionate Matthew was with keeping me safe and remaining as my own. I was blessed to have him as mine, after everything we went through. Still, I was confident that we would get through it and stay together no matter what came our way. Demon, devil, whatever. It didn't matter to us. We were unstoppable together. A moment to myself was all it took to remember everything that went on during my time in the Abyssal Plains. It was a heavy part of my life and chapter I would never forget for as long as I lived. Still, there was some fun moments while others only proved to me how strong I was, and how strong the love me and Matthew had was. It was a blessing in disguise. I sat at the dining room table looking over the multiple photos that were taken from our wedding. There were so many goofy smiles, embraces, and tear-jerking moments that spanned through every picture. I left myself grinning at the sight of each one, remembering vividly each moment as it was shot and captured in nostalgic euphoria. I almost wanted to go back in time and relive it all over again just to feel the emotions run through me once again the first time through. What do you think, Simon? I looked to my furry friend, pointing at an image that managed to catch him jumping for the bridal garter in his surprisingly human form. He has a human form? Wait, did I know that before? How he managed to learn that, I would never know, but I was excited to have had him as a guest instead of just my lucky charm. Simon wobbled over from his spot looking at the image and gave me a sly, silly grin. It still looked a little evil, but I had begun to recognize which of his smiles were actually filled with ill intent and which were genuine. I giggled and slid it over to him, picking it up off the table and handing it to him and watching him sit back on his fluffy tail looking at it in awe. I guess its pictures were still a wonder to Simon since they didn't move. Shaking my head, I began to slowly pile the rest of the images together, eager to store them away for the future and frame some up just for the sake of memories. As I did, Matthew walked into the room, hands behind his back with a smile. Oh, hey Matthew.
Hey, what you doing?
Just looking at pictures, sweetums. Oh, I was just looking at our wedding photos. I got a bit nostalgic, you know? Matthew nodded and walked over, looking over them over my shoulder. I, however, attempted to be sly and looked over his in return to try and glimpse at what he might be hiding behind his back. To my surprise, there was nothing there, making Matthew smirk and laugh.
Look, I know I have a nice butt.
Damn.
You don't need to try and sneak a peek at it, okay?
Okay, alright, damn, alright, boy, calm down. Oh my god, Matthew. Jesus. I gave Matthew a playful slap on the shoulder. I thought she was going to slap him on the ass. I wasn't going to judge. I mean, you can slap him real quick on the butt. I gave Matthew a playful slap on the shoulder as both of us began to laugh wildly at the joke. Matthew was the first to calm down, wrapping an arm around my shoulder and continuing to look at the pictures.
Man, it's been like, what, a couple months since the wedding?
Oh, it's only been a couple months? Okay. Yeah, how time flies. I laid my head on Matthew's shoulder, letting my emotions drift into a state of calm and serenity in his half-embrace. With a chuckle, Matthew lowered his head and kissed the top of my hair before nuzzling it with his cheek.
I still remember it. Oh, I was so nervous saying
Oh,
my
that
vows.
was so cute. Me too. It was like a dream from long ago. Both of us reveled in the memory of us exchanging vows and saying I do to one another. I could feel the rush of happy realization wash over me as I affirmed to myself, Matthew was my husband. Matthew grinned before kissing my temple and standing up straight, placing his hands behind his back once again. When he brought them forward, I was shocked to see him bring around a gift box. What the fuck? Beautifully wrapped and tied with a bow. You sly dog. Huh? Matthew, what's this?
Something that I think you and Simon will like.
What is it? Simon perked up at the sound of his name as I straightened up in my chair, now beyond curious of what was in the box. As Matthew slowly unwrapped it, I gasped at what popped out of it. Another doll? Oh, that's so cute! It's like a little girlfriend for Simon! Bursting from the now open top was a fluffy doll that looked almost like Simon, but with a bow on its head and a cute curl in its fur. It looked around and hopped into the table, skidded. Oh, that's so fucking cute! Of course, Simon brandished his toy knife, but stopped as the doll came up close and sniffed at him, grinning at him and hopping around him excitedly. A couple of sniffs from Simon caused him to do the same to his new friend.
I figured since we're married and stuff, maybe it was time to get Simon a playmate of his own. You know?
That's so cute. Oh, I don't know why that made me so happy. That made me so happy for some reason. I smiled as the two furry dolls bounced around each other, now excited for their new company, and stood, walking over to Matthew. He lowered the box and wrapped his arms around me, grinning down at me as I nuzzled my nose to his. You are the absolute best. You know that?
I do my best for you.
Good. I feel a little better now. Matthew raised his hand and brushed a strand of hair behind my ear before cupping my cheek. I felt his warmth radiate from his hand, causing me to lean into it and smile. I love you, Matthew. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Oh,
More than anything.
So nice.
I'll always be here with you, to keep a smile on your face.
Aw, you're the best. I couldn't stop my smile from growing before leaning in and kissing Matthew lovingly, feeling him kiss back with the same amount of love and passion I had. He would always be here with me, and no one would be able to take him away. I would be here, arms wide open for him, and I would fill him with my love for as long as I lived. And that was my perfect, happily ever after. Aww, that's the end of Matthew's story. I don't know if there was like, I mean, I'm sure there was a kind of another ending if Diana didn't die. But we finally finished Matthew's storyline. Now we can move on to one of the other brothers, which will probably be Sam because he's my other favorite. Aww, that was so awesome. Oh, that was adorable. Yay! We're gonna see the credits now? Yeah. So cute. This game is so awesome. It's like, I know it's not as entertaining, I guess, as like, you know, games like GTA and like stuff happening all the time, but it was an awesome story and I really hope you guys enjoyed it too. I loved it. It was real funny at times, it was really weird at times, but it was amazing and I'm really, really excited to try the other stories, the other brothers, and see what happens with them. This was great. I loved this story. It was awesome. Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess that's it. Next time I play, I will probably be playing as Sam, which I think is green. We finished Matthew, and we'll be moving on to Sam. We'll probably go in like a counterclockwise, yeah, counterclockwise motion. We'll be going through the brothers like that. So look forward to that. Thank you guys for watching. I guess that's it. Matthew is fucking adorable.